un fine. Ninchale 7 ni J. No go ba here fine. She me go make poison. When it trip for few she na me.
Coaching is putting your thinking into action. That is what coaching is about. Now, I studied them, I showed them, I revisited the match they played against us. Then I saw that we gave them enough space to operate because they are full of techniques. The boys, the 14, 20, 10, 8, 12. Very, very with the ball when you give them space. So we try something called tracking and getting free. Track them, get free and play. So we deny them the space for them to maneuver.
In terms of power play, it's zilch. If you watch our game against Mali, the young man was running away from taking the ball. He didn't want it. Give me away, give me away. He was practically running away. He was running away when we were being marooned and we were under attack from the Malians, and he had the opportunity of staking a claim in the team. Anytime an attempt was made to him with the ball, with the pass,
he's running away.
He's running away, leaving the ball,
hiding
behind the opponent. This whole Telemundo, it's like it's something that sometimes
for the uninitiated, Telemundo is a channel that shows telenovelas.
Yes.
So this is like a soap opera.
It's like a soap opera. This clearly is a soap opera. It's winding down. So let's call Extremadura man from Extremadura man. Bola. When the boy is coming to the player, he's running away. You know what's the game? And shockingly, there's a certain miraculous acrobatism.
No, Mrs. said, Master son players are cuckoo mama team massa. Players are better, Master son. Team and I shit. Team would have been players, mammy. Sakim CH. Where? Sakim CH. Aha. Timo Verna. What's that? Timo Verna. Aha. Cavers. Why? Cavers. Cavers, I saw him. Is a sister seculator, only be more. Sister seculator, only be more. A year, I must say a Brazil anyway. Yes, I know. Brazil anyway. Almost I said Silver, so I Silver. Aha. Tiago Silver. Is a
me, the fellas you will against stand. My son be say, me Adamu, I'm not gonna need my job, go marry. No, you see, I don't need my job, go marry.
So you refuse to they punish them.
They're not the punishment, it serves you right. No, not the punishment. See, you choose love over job. That is exactly what you do. Because see what Richard go do. Football no day. Richard go marry.
Yeah.
So with the footballer, see, from August 2019 to December 29, we don't play football.
No
marry. We start league after we fall. He said they go marry.
That be the time where money catch.
No. So you choose love over career. And so if today you get your lover, the coach say they give you more time to go chop love. So it's not a big deal. Me, I guess that I thought that this matter.
Does Don Bote still want to play football? You are 36 years old.
Forget about the age.
We cannot forget about the age, Don. You are 36.
Yeah, 36. You doubt 36. Inner me, forget about the age. What you want me to come and do for you?
You still think you can perform at the highest level?
Why?
In Ghana?
Yeah. Not in Ghana, sir.
Anywhere?
Yeah.
You train?
Serious.
By yourself?
Always.
Why don't you want to join a club and train?
You see, that's what I'm saying. Them themselves, they don't believe themselves. The coaches don't believe themselves. They are not real coaches. They don't. You have to believe yourself that no, this guy can do it for me. If you believe me, I can do it. But so far as you just relax yourself, no. If I come safe, I won't get that spirit because you don't believe me.
So you think that if a Premier League team were to give you an opportunity to play, you would make an impact?
Ghana, yeah.
Yes.
I can play past all the current players. The current players in Ghana Premier League.
That's a serious statement coming from somebody who hasn't played in almost a year.
You know something? I know myself. That's why I said, if you don't know me, you don't know me.
You see, as for a game, like when you get a chance, every blessed player will decide to score, and then will decide to catch the ball. So when you both decide together, then you miss the chance. I decide differently, and he also decided differently, and our decision was together. That's why he was able to catch the ball. So I think next time I'll raise my head and watch the goal post and put the ball.
You have 3 or 4 phones. What messages have you been receiving?
I haven't even read them because they keep on coming. They keep on coming. I think that I have to turn one of the phone off.
You haven't read any of them? Messages?
No, not at all. Look, they still calling. They still calling. Phones are calling.
Friday night, Sports Panorama. Benjamin and Ketia here. We are live. Interesting times in Ghana football. A lot happening. The conversation revolving around the fact that football is sinking. I've been having conversations this week with our lawmakers, specifically in the football sector. Some of whom were in Morocco to witness the Black Meteors when they took on the rest of their counterparts in the Under-23 AFCON. We'll talk about that. The GFA's Ordinary Congress is on the horizon. The 10th of July, KNUST campus. That should be interesting. A lot of very interesting topics on the agenda. So there's that to discuss. We'll also be getting into the world of transfers, aka Don't Call Me. That's what it is. Players are on the move. Paris Saint-Germain have confirmed 3 transfers this week. Manuel Ugarte, the much sought after Manuel Ugarte. Uruguayan international played his football for Sporting Lisbon. Will now be playing for PSG. Luis Enrique was unveiled this week as well. Marco Asensio plateaued at Real Madrid. Can he revive his career at PSG? And then Skriniar, also from Inter Milan. They say Onana is almost on the verge of joining United. All that and more coming up on the show. Show probably brought to us by Bell Beverages, specifically Puka. Charlie, if you know sock poker before, my guy, Charlie, just go in the provision shop, pick one poker, experience the ginseng and the herbs. Yeah. Herbal soft drink with ginseng and low sugar, dear. It be bell poker. Recharge the herbal way. Shell Helix also proud sponsors of Sports Panorama. You can get to us via text, WhatsApp, and Telegram 0549986996 0549986996. My name is Benjamin Nketia. Welcome to the show. Nathan Kwao is here. Evans Ofochu Manso, aka Pichichi. Charlie, he's in a solemn mood today. Yahweh J. Vinta is here. And of course, Sheikh Altani Mubarak. Sheikh Ni Abba Altani Mubarak.
No more.
Oh, Sheikh.
No more.
Your puka has been laid out.
Oh, no more.
Your standard 2 bottles.
As usual.
It is only right
Oh, Charlie.
that you grace us with a good prayer.
Amen.
Oh.
Amen. Yehovah Zebaoth. Oh, big kanu Zebaoth na kanu jaka beche.
Oh.
Wakamene so anima so na ma so wakogbele ya cho manche yeli aba. Yehovah Zebaoth. Nyama wo hie. No gbele wo da ke wo dwemo. Ni wa yue ya no kwale mi. Jomo wo program ne. Jomo program ne. Wo wo no. Feda keda. Mo fia money ba fe de nche enye. Ghana ma mo fe kraro.
Afefe.
Nshanye. Bi etwe abo. Ne be shele be she. Anokwale ni ya no ye Ghana football me oba yue. Waka wa wo Buo ya faban. Enyola fe enyola ni nye wo ye program no waka yo wa twa me ni ame. Twa me ni awo. Twa me ni awo.
Amen.
Ofia money ba je wane ye. Ida ejiyoye. Ni ko je chele wane ye. Yo wa ba twon oshidumo. Bia na wo je wane ye Yesu ba me. Ogbele ya che. Da keda ye Yesu ba me. Amen.
Amen. Coach simply says, God bless you all. And welcome to the show. So last week, just about when we were on the show, the Black Meteors were preparing for their last game of the competition, which was the third group game against Guinea. Eventually, Ghana could only manage a draw in that game, and so we crashed out. The technical team have been subsequently dissolved because that was their mandate to qualify Ghana to the Olympic Games, and so failure to do so meant that there was nothing for them to do, really. It's been dissolved. Questions have been raised. I would love coach's thoughts on a lot of things that have happened, coaching-wise, money spent-wise, football talent-wise, because I've heard very interesting schools of thought. Some people say that we are just not good enough. We are thriving on reputation. Some people say that we have raw, uncut talent that just needs polishing. Some say that we do have talent that can rival the best of the best, but we just aren't managing the talent properly. I spoke to the vice chairperson of the Parliamentary Youth Sports and Culture Committee of Parliament, the Honorable Eugene Boachi-Entry. He had a few, opinions to share about the state of our football, especially with regards to issues that are impeding the progress of our national team. It was a very lengthy interview. We'll be sharing bits and pieces of it over the weeks because there were a lot of nuggets in there that I think were worth, deliberating over. But we'll just share a brief summary of his thoughts, especially on the national team. So let's listen to that. I'll come in studio and then I'll take some thoughts from the guys as well.
Now, what I'm hearing is that it's been alleged, so I'll say that with a caveat, that all the players playing for our national teams are now being owned by the executive members of GFA and other associates. So by hook or crook, when it comes to such international tournaments, they have to play. And I think I can see a degree of truth in it. Because at the World Cup, we all saw the weakest link on the park. I was in Qatar, and I've watched football for close to 40 years, if not over 40 years. So we all saw the weakest link in the setup. But this guy was consistently playing. In our first game, we had a fantastic left back. He was dropped for some reason, and then this guy came on, and everybody could see that this was our weakest link. But he was on the pitch. Apparently, he played for somebody's team. He made $1 million, so he has to play. But this is Ghana playing. You put your best foot forward. Simple as that. Anytime it comes to a major tournament, you put your best foot forward. When Black Stars went to Libya in '82, Owusu Mensah was not the best goalkeeper at the time. When it came to international exposure and all the rest of it, Joseph Carr was the goalkeeper for Kotoko, was the best goalkeeper. But for some reason, Owusu Mensah went and won the cup for us. You understand? Because maybe the technical team felt that Owusu Mensah was the best player at the time to win it for us. And the same team that won the 78, that same group, about 60 to 70% of them played in Libya. You understand? So it shows you that you cannot build a team one day and say, look, let's go for a tournament. They have to play together. You have to understand. You know, that time they had the Paha brothers from the Western region, right? Kukudazi, you know, Atofama, Anas Seidu, Mama Kwa, Mohamed Polo. These were great players in their own right. They had never traveled anywhere. Ghana here. They had not crossed even Togo. Ghana. Abeta Sassi, John Baker. Top quality players. But they were playing for a long time. So the understanding was there. The communication was better. The telepathy was excellent. That's why we were scoring goals. Anybody that came on the pitch, George Alassane, Puku Free, may he rest in peace. The Kayode brothers, Ben and Dan, the Usu brothers, Dan and Kwesi. You see, these were players who homegrown, but they will win the tournaments for us. How come today we have almost all the top 16 players who are bench and field playing in Europe, but we cannot win a tournament? So that is what is lacking. That is what is lacking from my point of view. It goes down to leadership, because those days, I remember SK Menu. Was it SK Menu? I'm not sure if it was HP Nyamitei. The DFA bosses at the time. These were all sportsmen who had made a serious impact in our history. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong when you appreciate a problem and want to solve it. But what are we trying to do? The SK Menus, the Nyaho Tamaklos and Co., they don't form their own clubs to compete with the traditional clubs. They didn't do that. You understand? That's the difference. Because if I have an interest in a player who is playing for your club, then your interest becomes supreme to that of the national interest. Because you want to make millions of money, millions of dollars or cedis or euros out of that player than see the national team win a trophy. All those players, SK Menu was a former Kotoko player, right? But I didn't come to set up a team to challenge Kotoko or to sell players. He basically took care of Abedi Pele. You understand? Yes. But he didn't foist Abedi on the national team at the time. No. Well, before Abedi broke on the scene, we had so many talented players. The Kofi Bedus, the Emmanuel Kwashi, may he rest in peace. He was the captain when he won the cup in Libya. He played for Skandia Hazakis. You understand? So now I think the leadership, from what I've heard and from little intel I've gathered, is that the leadership is in competition, right, with the teams. They get coaches that will do their bidding for them. That's what I've been hearing, right? So the coaches who would like to hold on to their jobs by playing their players. So if that's the case, then we're in trouble. I hope it's not the truth. I'm expecting some kind of rebuttal from the leadership of the GFA. Because that's what I've heard. I've been to 3 tournaments, I've told you. 2 tournaments, the World Cup and I didn't go to AFCON. I think it was the AFCON that I assumed the vice chairmanship of the committee. So I wasn't in Cameroon. But from what I've seen, the self-interest supersedes that of the national interest.
So you heard him there. The Honorable Eugene Boachientry, MP for Subing, Vice Chairperson for the Youth, Sports and Culture Committee of Parliament. Spoke about a few interesting things there, speaking about ownership or club ownership, conflict of interest. FA president owns a club in the league. Spoke about players who are supposedly or allegedly under the management of the GFA boss, coaches again likewise, and how these conflicts of interest will eventually hurt the national team. I mean, like we all say, a lot of these are alleged. Nobody is ever going to show you a contract saying that I am signed to person A or management B, but we all work in this industry. Coach, the honorable member said a lot. Congress is on the horizon. Like you've always said here, football people have a big role to play. Exactly. From the words of the member of parliament, he says that as legislators, they are worried by the direction that our football is taking. 3 group stage exits, league in shambles, Colts football going through a turbulent time, women's football take 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 4 steps forward, 2 steps back, refereeing after the number 12 documentary. It's not been the same. Catch Them Young has been a decent policy, but it's not fully fledged yet. So there's still a lot to go around. Meanwhile, the FA boss says that he's building facilities. Pram has been renovated. He says he's overachieved. So very divergent views from the Ghanaian football populace generally, the parliamentarians, and even journalists and media people. The FA, however, seem to have a different marking scheme for how they are approaching things. You have been digging and gathering your own intel lately. You saw them play. Talk to me first of all about coaching. What is wrong with our coaching in this country? What was wrong with our coaching in the tournament? Also speak about tournament management from the point of view of the FA, right from the scouting point, preparation point, the competition point. Have we done our best? Is this the best we can do?
Obviously not. So let me tackle the issue of coaching first. Apart from the Black Stars of Ghana, currently, you remember I've sat on this very distinguished, established platform, and I've said that I want you to go and ask Keto Kreku his view on the appointment of Chris Hughton. He's still not spoken about Chris Hughton's appointment. Not even one comment has come from him. Like you said, we are all in the business and we are running the game. So I know he never supported the appointment of Chris Hughton. That's for a fact. That's why when the man was being unveiled, it was only my good friend Henry Asante who sat by him to do that unveiling. So if we take away Chris Hughton, who told you coaching in this country is bad? We've never lacked quality coaches. The situation at hand now, with all our national teams, all of them, it's only coaches that in one way or the other, I'm not going to use the word allege, I state emphatically, in one way or the other, they supported Keto Kreku's reign. So they are the coaches he's appointing. The coach of the Black Meteors, his assistants, they were there. They were maintained. The Black Starlets, the Black Satellite.
Maybe they were
all of them.
Let me just say that again. We all know here that these coaches, except the Queens and Stars coaches, don't have contracts. Maybe the jobs are not attractive to the others. Maybe these are the only people who want to take this job.
I can tell you for a fact that the others were never approached. Never. Nobody approached them. Nobody. That is why they can use Samuel Boadu, I repeat, to select players into our national under-20 team and decided that Samuel Boadu says if they attach the clubs to the various names of the players they've selected, there will be pressure on the boys. So the FA released the list without the teams that these boys played for. You see, thinking...
But these are people we know.
That's right. Thinking they were smart. But that was a very foolish act. Because you are using my money. Benjamin Ketia, Nathan Kwa. I know that Benjamin Ketia, City TV, City FM. Nathan Kwa, City TV, City FM. I'll put it there. So it took journalists of this country.
I thought that list was not going to be released.
We all thought, but the one they released didn't have the players' teams. So we've never had bad coaches in this country. The current administration only sees certain coaches, and I'm telling you, Nketia.
But we all thought.
Look, when is 2 months to the election, I will bring you every coach that is being under Ketukreku's influence. And the Proton management that is owned by Ketukreku, all the coaches that are affiliated to that Proton consultancy, I'll bring it here. And when I mention it, it's like a roll call.
Is Tanko one of them?
He's one of them.
But you said you will bring the list.
But he asked a question. He's one of them. No, they are my friends. They are my friends.
Was Tanko great at this tournament? Does he deserve more opportunities?
He shouldn't have waited to be sacked. He should have resigned. I would have resigned because, you see, I still do rate him though. But if you look at his background, he shouldn't have waited for the technical team to be dissolved. Him together with Michael Osei and Godwin Atram. They shouldn't. Because these are coaches who were well exposed during their playing time. They played the game to the highest level. You see, people are blaming him. Of course, he needs to be blamed. Because if you look at the chemistry of the team, we had serious issues with it. And one thing that was so shocking to me, your best player says, I am injured. I want to go back. When the player is injured, does he just say, I want to go back home? The things some of us are hearing, I will not say it today. And Nyama has released a statement. Wait. Some of us, we've gotten closer to the boy. And the things the boy said went on, took place there in Namin Kawaha. Because I still need one or two of the players to verify. That is the problem. When somebody says something, the players are afraid said that they may be victimized. So they don't want to. But I'm getting closer to my source. The boy says, I'm injured. I don't want to play. 2 hours, take me back to Ghana. 2 hours to the game. Coach, my ready. Met me a ball. Then you go and put him in. And then you come and tell the whole country that you didn't prepare the game with the player. But because he's told you 2 hours to the game, he's ready. Who does that? So again, I said last week, and I'm going to repeat, this team was badly coached. Badly coached. No organization. No nothing. We could not protect a lead. We could not protect a lead. We got the lead. We needed to win the game. We couldn't protect it. So our football coaching in Ghana we've never lacked quality coaches. It's just that the FA is looking in one direction. Now, the trick is this. You see, when the Honorable Member of Parliament talks about I'm hearing, he said to some, there is absolute truth in what you wanted to say, Mr. Honorable. Now, apart from Dreams FC and its affiliates, no other player from any other team earns selection into our team based on merit. You see that under 20 that they've taken to Cote d'Ivoire, close to 8 of them Ketu Kreku players. Dreams FC already have 4. Then there's Still Believe. Then there's Shooting Stars. Then there's Ebony Acad. What is this? Why are you doing our football like this? Look, in 13 years, you can count the number of players of Kwesi Nyantakyi. Richard Ofori at some point was the Black Stars #1 goalkeeper. Seydou Salifu, you remember the tournament we played, the under 20 tournament? He was by far one of our best players. You can argue out the Edwin Jima case that he didn't merit it. All it now and then he was in the team. I sat here and I spoke about it.
Yep. We were very
vocal about that. Now player na actually come national team.
I never played a minute.
Dan winning bonus. Free ekpechi. You understand what I'm saying? So we've never lacked anything. No. You talked about talent. No, Ghana talent. We've never lacked talent. And we'll never lack talent. Look, go to the street. I still do coast football. I've been doing call Enimado, one of the ESCO members. Ask him, when did he start doing coast football with me? I've done coast football for over 25 years. When I was in JHS, that was when I started doing coast football. Not even secondary, not even academy. I said, we have never lacked talent.
Are we not in danger of being left behind if we continue this way?
We have been left behind because of the approach of those in charge of our game. And what makes it even more dangerous, the man, he doesn't see anything wrong with what he's doing. Oh. That's why he gives himself a bigger numerator to the denominator.
I have overachieved.
11/10, 12/10, 13/10, 14/10, 15/10. That's why he gives himself that assessment. Ngetia, people will have to speak. This is not the main topic. We'll move with this. I just want to plead with football people.
I needed you to touch on that for me because you say that they are the protagonist of change.
Yes!
In this particular situation.
Look, I want to go and stand at the Kwame Nkrumah, you see the circle overhead, and kneel down and raise my hand. Bring all the cameras. I want to beg football people.
Don't do this.
I'm telling you, I'm ready to do that.
Don't do this.
I'm on demonstration.
Don't do this.
I want to beg them. Oh, no more one panify. You know what more. What football is
you can do hunger strike too.
Our football is dead. One panify. You know what more. Rescue our game. This man, look, in front of me here, I have the audited account that will be presented. No, you construct borehole, 30 borehole for 1,665,645 Ghana City. 30 boreholes. You go and take COVID fund of 7 million. We don't know what you've used the money for.
Are football people aware that a COVID fund was taken?
They don't even know. But if you look at the audited account, it's here.
They'll find out for the first time at
when
Congress?
They go. I have the when they go to Congress, they should go and look at page. Page here. They should go look at.
Refer to your appendix and come back. Yeah, refer to the documents and come back to me. Let me see if I can take some messages and then I'll get some more thoughts on the Ghana football crisis. Murphy from Sakomono says, good evening. Watching Sports Panorama on YouTube has a different feeling. Hey, seeing coach with his printout is something else. Just like a principal going to expel the notorious guys in the school.
I've seen the page. You see, COVID-19 support.
Yeah.
7,805,303 Ghana City. What did they use that? 7 million. Almost 8 million. And then you give
Mediama 300,000.
Goodness me. This man.
We'll go to
somebody
Congress.
will argue and say that's like.
No, we'll go to Congress.
Money. But anyway.
No, but you see the COVID money. No, do football people? Do you know about the COVID money?
They didn't even know. Okay. They won't tell you. They will not tell you.
More messages coming through. Let me read a few more and then I'll get some more thoughts. So, Lion Payola from Sakumono. Charlie, my Sakumono people make wow though. Shout outs to SK. He says, "Good evening, Sports Panorama. Where do I start? Where do I end? Why are we doing this to ourselves? Ghana football is always going backward to the drawing board. Are we not tired? The number 12 investigative video by Anas has done more harm to our football than good." Steve from Taifa says, "I want to talk about the Black Meteors. Coach Tanko and Co didn't do anything at all. I mean, how? It was just like he told the boys to pass the ball around and run and try to score. No technical play, nothing. Very poor. We really have a long way to go. All they think about is money." Emmanuel Zevo from Hoho, he says, "Ben, I always hold the view. Chris has been too critical of the current republic and at a certain point feared he could be served with the symbols. But watching the under-23 perform extremely abysmally in Morocco and having checked all the failures of the FA with our national teams, I now fully support coach." He says, "Good evening, Ben and crew. This is bedroom Guardiola." Charlie, right?
Tactics. Extreme tactics.
Hey, behave yourself over there. What do you mean by your bedroom Guardiola?
Tactics. Matis.
He says, "Ghana football, as we know, is dead. And I don't think it's an administrative issue. I believe it's a systematic problem. We need to start getting the basics right. Please ask Nathan to unexplain that 1 a.m. surprise."
Yeah, I hold the explanation to that.
You mean
I hold the explanation
you mean we
to
will
that.
get a story?
Don't worry.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Everything is under control.
Once you have assured me, I don't have any fears.
It's an EPA problem.
Thank you. Nathan, let me get your thoughts on the upcoming Congress. Football people, like Coach says, have power. I want to believe they do. I want to believe that they see where football in this country is headed. If you were a member of the football fraternity, what would be the 3 most important things on your mind heading to Congress?
What the 3 most important things?
Yeah.
3 most important things. I don't know if I can think of 3. What I would tell football people is that whoever goes to that Congress needs to do a deep think about Ghana football. And the conversations that should be had in that room should be conversations that should come from the conscience, and that's the only place it should come from. The conscience. Football people, I want to ask you a question. When you look at Ghana football dispassion, when you take yourself out of Ghana football and you look at Ghana football from the outside, are you happy with Ghana football? When you look at the national teams, one after the other, go to tournaments and fail to clear major hurdles, are you happy? How do you feel? Do you feel the pain we feel as fans and journalists, as stakeholders? Or for you, once your player gets sold for $200,000, we can all go and sleep.
15,000.
And you are happy. Because I feel that, then if after this point, things don't prick the people running the game or the football people in the football republic, if they don't get down to doing some serious work to turn things around, I don't know how lower or how much more will sink.
We should never talk about Ghana football. We should talk about foreign football. So I'm telling you honestly.
You know, because Ben, think about it, it's one bad story after the other. And once we are going in a certain direction, countries are going in another direction and they are leaving us behind. And I'm saying that whenever we say countries have left us behind and people send me texts on Panorama or during Panorama time when I'm home and all of that, and people say, oh, we are there, and countries experience bad times. If you want to see how badly we've sunk, listen to the Deputy Sports Minister.
No more.
This is somebody who is in charge of policy. He's the number 2 leading man in sports in Ghana. And yet, when he was taken to Morocco, like he has said, he was absolutely awestruck. He
shocked to the core.
He could not believe that another country in Africa. He could not believe that his fellow sports ministers, he could not believe that his cousins, the FA people in another country on this same continent, enjoying the same sun God gives us, enjoying the same rain God gives us, they have taken giant steps.
They don't get enough rain, but they have better pitches than us.
And the part of the part of his submission that really freaked me out was when he said, I'm saying Astro Tev now, what kind of HMO?
I said, Maka, we should stop constructing these AstroTurfs.
You see, then he was absolutely blown away. So football people, if anybody in football thinks we are exaggerating, this one is the deputy sports minister. He went to see it there. And he's realized actually what we are doing here, dear. No. So the people who are going to Congress, I feel that the Congress ground should be where massive changes in football happen. We are not talking of 16 teams to 18 teams or 20-team league. We are not talking about...
You have one referee officiating Dreams FC until they won the FA Cup. One referee, that same referee was then appointed to go and officiate Stay Believe, the game that qualified them to first division. I watched that game. No more clear penalty against Stay Believe. Play on.
As for you've experienced the lower division.
What is this?
Shenanigans live in college.
You could see the other coach complaining, why are we doing this to our football? Is it by force that only Ketokrako team should qualify because of what?
Charlie. I feel that the Congress that's going to be held, and like I said, the Congress ground should be where big things happen. Look, if after everything we've seen, and from this point onwards, we don't start taking steps to remedy the situation. Look, listen, good things don't happen when people sit down, arms folded, and legs between their thighs. If you read the American Declaration of Independence, there's a part, I can't seem to remember it word for word, but the essence is that if good people sit down, bad people will dominate the system.
Of course.
So please, I'm begging football people, try and get the change we all want. Because when it works well for you even more than us. You benefit more than us anyway. So why don't you want to change the system? Look at the state of our pitches. Look at the state of our local league. Look at the state of grassroots football. It's not working. We are facing a very critical time. And like I said, once we are doing our own thing, some other countries are doing something else. And they are progressing. You see, it's no fluke. Look.
Alonchi, Polytank. Shakaba video. Polytank. You are Charlie!
Guys,
what sort of mediocrity is this?
See, nothing. Listen, when Senegal win an AFCON, win a CHAN, win whatever, it's not by chance at all. It is not for any reason why Morocco are doing what they are doing. It is, they don't wave a magic wand. It is hard work, it is money, it is a plan. And I'll say this, it is a good marriage between the state and the football people. But here, we only go to the... It's because maybe how the FA is positioned. I don't know.
No, sometimes I even blame the government and the government officials.
No,
because when your child goes to write an exam and consistently fails and comes back to you
and you keep doing the same thing.
That, daddy, take me to this school. I want to go to this school. It's more expensive and they'll teach me better. And you keep on paying them. Keep on paying for that child. Do you think that child will
simple. The child will know that there is glory in failing.
There's cash. So you keep on messing up and coming back to you.
I will end it here. I hope that going forward, the government will have to show more interest. But again, the FA will have to tell government that this is our plan. And because the other countries that have succeeded, the FA brings the plan. The government looks through, this plan is good.
Can be done.
They explain that this is why we want to do this. Government takes money.
The complex that our people went to see, that they are in awe of, it cost only $60 million.
No more.
$60 million is no money.
How much have we spent in our 4 World Cup campaigns?
You don't want to go there.
You
don't want to go there.
It's more than 60, right?
Next week, when that Congress
half of that will give us something decent.
When that Congress is done, I beg the football people, they should let their consciences speak to them. They should look at the state of Ghana football and say that, you know what, it's okay.
Yeah.
We want to do things better. Whatever it takes to get things better, we should do it. Because, Ben, it's really sad and tiring looking at Ghana football go down. Because after this low point, where else will we go? Where else? Not qualifying for an AFCON. If after that 1-2 happens, then we know that
I'm afraid.
It's on the horizon.
I'm afraid.
It's
that last game from the Black Stars.
Please,
I'm afraid.
Football people, just for perspective,
your conscience.
Please, think about everybody.
Yeah.
And do things right at that Congress. Set the ball rolling. Let the changes start from that Congress in Kumasi. And let's see things turn better for all of us.
Just for perspective, look, July 2nd marked exactly, last week, it marked exactly 13 years since that infamous Asamoah miss against Uruguay. Ghana was one converted penalty kick away from becoming the first African nation to play at the semi-final stage of the World Cup.
Exactly.
Of the World Cup. Now, 13 years later, Ghana has not made it to the quarterfinals of the AFCON in back-to-back editions of the AFCON. 2019, we made it to what? Round of 16.
Round of 16, Nabuto out.
The last AFCON,
Comoros.
Preliminary stage.
Yep.
Now, there is a strong chance that we might end up losing to Central African Republic and miss out completely.
I was telling somebody again, right? I was telling somebody when this group was drawn that this is a complicated group. The person said, "Oh, Charlie, it's Ghana. With the qualification there, you could talk."
You see, there's a high possibility that we might end up missing out totally on the AFCON. And that is the level that Ghana football is at right now.
I say this all the time. Look, we've gone from Nyantechi's period where we made two finals.
Yes,
we made
2015.
Two AFCON finals, and we made a couple of semi-finals.
Like 6 semi-finals.
And we were upset about it.
Yeah, from 2008, we made it to the semi-finals.
Now we've done round of 16 exits, multiple group stage exits. Like Nathan said, the next point, he says, can we sink any lower? The next point is to not
miss
make
out. Yes, miss out on the AFCON total.
Then
it's
you
happened
know,
before.
Then you know that you have completely crashed.
It's happened before. When we won the cup in 82, and we went to 84. After 84, we couldn't qualify until 92. So it's happened before.
Even when we had seen glorious times.
Yes.
So
like I said, I just hope that football people will use their conscience.
Yeah.
And start to think about the betterment of the game that feeds them.
Yeah. Let me take Pichichi's thoughts on the Ghana football dying conversation, aka the Ghana football is overachieving.
Well, Ben, I've been very quiet because it's I'm hurting. Yeah, I'm hurting a lot.
Oh, Charlie.
Yeah,
well, Pichi. No, I don't know. Look, I cry. The Ghanaianness in me makes me cry.
Let me tell you something. If you see Pichichi's dedication to the Ghana Premier League, when the Ghana Premier League is coming, he has some notebook. The notebook of wonders. You know, he did draw officials,
lineups of the clubs.
He literally collates statistics manually with his eyes.
Too much pitchy.
No,
exactly. And I think that my senior colleague Godfred Akoto made a very good point. That we may be looking at the issue from the top, but it's the bigger issue
at the bottom.
It's at the bottom.
Of course.
And that's where we have failed to look at all the issues there. Now, we think that, we can plant coconut and go and harvest maybe cocoa or maybe something better than coconut. See, what has gone into the investment at the grassroots level all these years?
I do coach football. Keto Kweku won the election. He said he's going to be the chairman of juvenile football. We have seen the worst. We've never completed any of our juvenile leagues. We've never. Every time the coast league has been truncated. Every now and then. That's what happens.
And so what we are experiencing now, Ben, is the impact of what we failed to do from the grassroots level all these years. This is the effect of what we are experiencing now. Now, if you clearly looked at the Black Meteors team in Morocco, coach, some of the players clearly ball control was a problem. See, and if you look at
Number 7,
if you look at a player at the under 23 level,
who cannot control and pass.
the ball
and pass.
Just before we even go on, so I've received a publication that actually states that the FA actually did notify the clubs about the COVID fund. So just to put that.
How did they spend the money? That is the question. How did they spend the 7 million plus? Meaning, they should go and account for it.
So Ben, I look at the players on the pitch themselves and ask myself, how were all these players brought up to this level? Because I know that as a footballer at under 23 level, this is not the time for your coach to be teaching you
how to control and pass. The technique.
Pass.
Look at Yegbe, what he did. Ball going over. Ball in Yahiko Klukra. Technically, the ball left for she. The party about our pole.
23 is when you guys are learning tactics and all that. So if you look at how the players have missed out on the basics of the game, and you ask yourself, who were their coaches when they were age 6, age 7, 10, 12, 15?
Normally, we start from 8. The boy is supposed to have 10 years of proper development. So at the age of 10 or 8, you start grooming. So 10 to 18.
6 will be better.
10 to 18. No, as for 10, he's just kicking and going about play. But when he's now 10 years, that is where you start telling him, use the inside of your foot.
Do this.
Use the outside of your foot. Left, right. When I
That's where you can understand those instructions properly.
So when I look at what the team did, I ask myself, see, our problem is not just an immediate problem you're facing now. It's a long-term issue that we failed to address all these years. And we are now seeing the impact. It goes beyond just one man and his policies. Keto Kraku's policies cannot solve what we failed to do all these years with the grassroots level development. The players on the
but he can make a change since he took over.
He's worsening the situation.
He's hired Lepet, exactly. So it's supposed to have an impact.
We are now looking for our DNA. It will be launched next week.
I hear they are going to launch it.
No. You mean the Ghana football DNA?
It's ready. They'll launch it next week.
They are saying, is it who we are or what we are? And I say, you are going to launch this.
I just hope that whatever is in that document, it is in line with the FIFA standards for developing players. Because FIFA has a it's about 270, 280 pages.
It may be in line, but it needs to suit the Ghanaian player. So you cannot launch that document without referencing somebody like Otia Kenten. Look, they made Makelesi and Co. Somebody like, you see, the likes of Jones and Coach Afrani are gone. May their soul rest in perfect peace. But you cannot bring a German to come and write our identity and he not speaking to somebody like Otia Kentin, speaking to somebody like Akwesi Appiah, speaking to somebody like Masekonedu, even speaking to the baby jet. Sulemu, you see, those guys, how were they coached? They should launch it on Tuesday. We'll be there.
So Ben, going forward, I think that yes, we are here talking about all the issues, but this is an effect of what we failed to do all these years. Now, I disagree with Coach when he says that we have good coaches in Ghana. Clearly, at that under-23 tournament, Ibrahim Tanko cost us a lot.
No, I said we have good coaches, but the cat is looking in one direction.
You look at what the team did. I think they started with a 4-2-3-1 formation in the first game. They switched to a 4-3-3. The last match, they played in a 3-4-3 formation. So clearly, the coach was all over the place. And it boiled down to the point where I remember speaking to Bernard Lepet some time ago about the major problem of our coaches. And I was talking about the lack of proper data for them. He says that's the major issues with our coaches. That's, okay, so there's a player for them. Where do they get that data on that player?
Operating in a vacuum.
Exactly. So these coaches don't have proper data.
I provide the Dreams FC, they believe, Shooting Stars, Ebony Stars, Ebony
Don't
Economy.
do this.
They provide those things.
Coach, don't do that.
No,
Coach,
don't
do this.
Don't do this.
You see, so clearly the coaches themselves don't have a proper data on the players to know this is what we need to do. This is how we need to make this player.
But Pichichi, just on that point,
and all that.
I think that is a travesty. Like, I mean, how are you even playing football without data?
There's no data on our players.
And you know what's funny, right? I remember asking Ibrahim Sanidara when he was comms director at the FA if we were ever going to get basic data for our league. So, i.e., goals scored, assists, distance run, shots taken, number of saves,
but you don't even
yellow
know
cards.
the number of academies in Ghana. How are you going to track the players' progress.
And I feel like these are not even these are not even like complex sports things anymore. These are standard things.
You need these things to make
and imagine how many years it's been since I asked that question. It's been well over 6 years. The Ghana Premier League still does not have this basic data.
And we take all these things for granted, thinking that, we will do well without all this. But see, our colleagues have moved on. Our colleagues are working with proper data. They know what this data does for them. How long will this player last in this game? What will this player do under this condition? What will all this work for us? So they're able to measure all this. Now, our coaches go and what they do is, they are just, See, the Matra and Marquez system is too much for us.
Talking about coaches struggling takes me back to
you walk, you see, you walk. You win the FA elections. You win the FA election. No man, like a fan now. Call your. You see, you win. Just before you see, you win the FA elections, and then the only certified CAF instructor, you sack him. Are you correct? Would you have done that?
No.
You win the presidency of the Ghana Football Association. And then the only certified CAF instructor that we have as a country, somebody who works directly with the people, somebody who writes books or proposal and FIFA accept and adapt and implement. Then you said you have sacked that person from the technical directorate of the Ghana Football Association. Somebody who has been the backbone to the top players we have produced in this country. Then you sack the person. Are you serious? Football, how do you do football like that? Where is your institutional memory? How are we going to carry on through the continuation? You sack Otiakintin just like that.
When Lepet launches the book, you will find
what is this?
So Ben, in wrapping up my 3 points, the first one was about our improper grassroots development and how it is affecting us now. 2 is about the lack of investment in data, clearly affecting us now as well. And then also, I think my final point to be on the policy we've adopted, where coaches are not full-time. Some of the coaches have this sort of club affiliation, so they are the club during the league season more like a Galamsey level.
The honorable MP spoke about this.
When you do this and you give coaches such double attention, ask yourself, what are we really doing?
We handed the most prestigious tournament in the world to
them.
a part-time
Pay
coach.
them well.
Initially, when it started and I saw Karim Zito win the under-20 AFCON, I thought, okay, maybe this system could work for us.
You were not here by then.
But here we are.
But I sat on this. You remember?
Yeah.
And you said that.
I said, no.
Nobody should be deceived by that.
Nobody should be deceived by that.
Exactly.
The approach was very wrong.
Exactly. But here we are. We've moved on thinking that system will work for us. But I think that we've reached a limit where we need to reconsider that policy again, where coaches are given the mandate when they have club affiliation. So it's like you are a coach of this club and you're also a coach of national team. You are doing 2 jobs at the same time. And I feel that this situation of, we don't have salary for our youth coaches.
We should stop that.
And that's per diem when they are the national team.
We should stop that.
It is a breeding.
Should be ended.
It is a breeding ground
for corruption.
Exactly. How do you tell me that I work as the under-23 head coach?
I don't get a salary.
Bakwesi Febi, when he was coach of the national under-7, he admitted.
No, he said it boldly.
They don't pay me, so that's why I collect bribe to be able to feed myself. He said it, playing on radio.
Man.
So you see this. So clearly there are several cracks in our system that are so obvious, and I'm surprised that we've not tried to work on all these basic cracks from the grassroots football. This policy of double affiliation to club and national team.
I think
these things we need to.
We will be asking these questions at Congress. So don't worry, we'll be there. We'll see. We will see if we will get cosmetic answers or if
you look at the Congress.
The issues will be sidestepped.
I need a document. Look at the Congress discussion over there. The main issues: suspension of a member, Ashanti Gold. Then they'll look at the GFA election nomination fees, and then they'll look at the financial statements. Get to give his remarks. Budget discussion, they are done. This is all what Congress will be about.
We will be there to ask other questions.
If the FA will ask a whole Congress, ni attaching our planning. How can you what? Charlie will be nele. Charlie. Ajia meje keke ni wo ya jowo.
Show proudly brought to us by Bell Beverages, specifically Puka. The guys are recharging. Shell Helix, lubricants mo in Koswahene. And then there's you, of course, the wonderful listener to the show. Let me read a few messages coming through before we get to some buying and selling. This one here says that are we even surprised? Okay, I'll get to that message again. Are we even surprised? The football and government people know this more than the ordinary Ghanaian. They travel to places an ordinary person can't go. They get to learn about modern development trends than the ordinary person because of better access to football-related materials. They meet more connected people in the business than the ordinary person. They have generally and possibly a better perspective of the game than the ordinary person. But truth is, they won't do anything about it. Banana with that one. Interesting. Elikem from Amran here says, maybe you guys underrate the job you do for Ghana Sports. Very compelling and insightful analysis by every member of the crew. Please, corporate Ghana, invest in Sports Panorama. May I say, our sports is at a critical point, and we need patriots like Panorama to rescue it. Okay, more messages. Hamid says that, and now grassroots football is not about talent and codes. It's pure training from age 6. Do we have football training as prescribed by FIFA in our education system? No. Do we have sporting centers for talent development? No. What are we doing? This one here also from Hudson Odoi's senior brother in Accra says, Ben, I'm watching a play with my Lile at the National Theatre, but one of my ears is attentively listening to Panorama. But this guy, Charlie, your Lile for knock Yusuf.
No. This is the only program that
where you can share with your Lile.
Of course.
He's balancing the acts.
Amazing. Amazing. Ayuba Halilu from Pram says, good evening. We are the problem of our own selves. I promise that to say if we don't change our attitude towards football and politics, the nation will sink more than the Titanic. We are not wishing doom on our dear nation, but we are too corrupt. I'm so sad.
Ben, a quick update. The Black Stars Lights have just drawn against Niger in the Wafu Under 20 Boys Cup. So
Niger. First of all, Niger Kejio da.
But Niger is recruiting Ghana players from Akaswa.
Niger.
Niger
is recruiting Ghana players as if you've eaten. See, so didi uri namna se ekka osimwa. Niger me Kejio
That's what I was telling you. Niger have basically come to build. They've come to build a little base in
Niger, Cote d'Ivoire,
and they are monitoring Ghanaian talent and taking the Ghanaian.
Yes, they are doing safe with Malian players. They are doing safe with Senegalese players.
Well, Charlie, I've come across some very interesting terms this week. Aware of, monitoring. Have asked about, preparing to bid. Which club does this refer to? You just tell me. I'm telling you the phrases again. This week, these are the phrases I've been hearing. Prepare. Oh, Charlie Midase. Concrete interest, 1. Aware of, 2. Monitoring, 3. Hey! Progress FC.
I can tell you the club.
Which club is this?
Liverpool.
Oh, don't do this. Charlie, let's get into the transfer market, where Man United have been aware of, been monitoring, and have concrete interest and are preparing to bid for a couple of players.
A don that also is don't call me time. One place, Mace, for sale, 120 cheap. Don't come you, don't come me. We dey loan this player $1,000. Don't come you, don't come me. For the striker we can consider. Don't come you, don't come. We know they see you use Team Naboka. Don't come you. So goals are Sansa Torres. Now on time she goes a prince of goals. Now on one yard drinks a Tevez. And then your coach one come at home. A don that also. Don't come yo, don't come me. Let's go. It's don't call me time. Don't come yo, don't call me time. It's don't call me time. Don't come yo, don't call me. Catch that. Tina Boka. Don't come yo, don't call me. Catch that. It's don't call me.
Medase. Let's get into the don't call me mood. Let me start off from Spain. I'll come to Man United in a bit because Man United and Sheikh, they stress me out because the coach has been buying or selling. coach has been selling
Kawori
United for the last 3 months.
No
The
more
team
Kawori.
has still not been sold. Let's get to Turkey and Spain because Arda Güler has signed for Real Madrid. Now, this is a very interesting transfer. Looked like the young man, 17 years old. He's a left-footed right CM. So basically like a Mesut Ozil. He was heading to Barcelona, according to all indications.
I mean, yes.
And then, in 24 hours, Real Madrid had hijacked the move. Now, this was a player that Deco had specifically told Xavi and Laporta that they should go get. So, Barca were, calculations FC. And now they put everything for fourth up before they go make any move. And this was a 20 million euro move. It was not a heavy money move. So, whilst calculations FC were moving the pieces around, Don Florentino said, you all must be joking. Hey, bring Arda Güler home. And Arda Güler was home. That's how it played out. Pichichi, you are a good Barcelona person.
Why do you have to stick it to
me? Let me start off with you.
Like who? They should come and start with me.
First of all, budget how big a loss is this in the talent wars of the club? And then should Barcelona be worried? I mean, about their transfer business in general, purely based on this?
Well, I think Arda Güler is a very fantastic player. When you watch him play for Fenerbahce, you ask yourself, wow, where from this young talent?
When Enzo was retiring, just to cut, he said, tell coach that you are a brilliant player and that you deserve more playing time than he's given you. Those were Enzo's parting words when he was leaving. Yeah.
So he's a fantastic player. I think if you watch him play, there's a little bit of Messi's movement, a little bit of Ozil in what he does with his left foot. He has good awareness, and always when he gets the ball, his idea is to try and break away from his immediate opponent.
One-on-one player.
Exactly, and also at the edge of the penalty box, the way he's able to kill the ball into the back
There's
of the
the
net.
Iron Robin effect in there.
The guy's a solid player, and
He's
his
so-
confidence
he's
as
so
well. Just
advanced
18 years of age.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just imagine.
I think he just turned 18.
So at age 18, you are doing this. When you get to your prime, it's even scary. As a fan of Barcelona, it's scary that this will be a player for our rival. But I know our situation. I know the situation of Barcelona. Yes, Barca had wanted the player, but when Barca with no cash and Madrid is so much to offer the player, are bidding for the same player. Obviously, the player will go for the better option.
Just sell some players.
The players, some of them don't want to go.
Like Frankie
de Jong just.
What can you buy?
See, it's about the player. Frankie de Jong.
You haven't moved on
Frankie de
from
Jong.
De Jong.
Davinache. You see, imagine you had collected that 75 million last season. You just go and pay this 20 and
Coach,
sum up.
Barca had some issues with having.
You move Barcelona team.
players agreed to go.
Enoni.
See, Barca had to make sure Samuel Umtiti over and over, negotiate with him over and over and over, send him to loan and all that before he agreed to leave. I don't know what's wrong, but
The money is good. That's what's wrong.
The Barca players don't easily want to leave the club, and it's difficult when you want cash.
The true Spanish boys have left. You told them that they were the reason why you were poor. Piqué
is gone.
left.
Yeah.
Busquets left. Jordi Alba left. Jordi Alba was on an 18 million yearly. What? Who signed that contract?
Ridiculous.
So
contracts.
What?
It's a long-term issue that the club is not trying to rectify. And for me, I think it's a huge loss, man. It's a huge loss for Barca fans seeing that Gulag just goes to our rival.
That is
and
what
he's going
you
to torment us
believe
in the La Liga. And he
believe in that.
says he had no second thoughts when he was told that there's Real Madrid in the mix for him. There was no thinking again. The moment he had Madrid, it was like, okay, I want
bring that contract.
Real Madrid
The people at Fenerbahce, they wanted the money. They told the boy, Real Madrid has come with the money. Barca, they are still calculating.
Budget FC.
What do you say? Take the money and let me go. Simple.
Nathan.
One of the reasons why a guy like Nigel de Jong doesn't want to move to a team
Frankie de Jong.
I always mean
Nigel is the butcher.
Frankie de Jong doesn't want to move to a team like Man United is because of the significant partner. It's one of the reasons because Barcelona is a fine city.
Yep.
Yes,
And they want to live.
Life.
They want to live in that
Romantic
kind of city.
Barca.
Exactly.
Oh, Charlie.
But with Man United, with Manchester,
And I think taxes are harsher in England as well.
And when you move to Manchester, Cristiano Ronaldo has complained about it. Several Brazilian players have complained about it.
About what?
That it's always grey, it's raining all the time.
There's no fun. There's no fun.
Exactly. So you don't play sports.
What do you mean there's no fun?
Di Maria's wife had to complain.
Exactly. Di Maria.
Fun in Manchester.
No, but Di Maria complaining about what?
No fun.
Can you compare Di Maria to Cantona and call Van Persie and
Let me talk to Nathan about Arda Güler. Nathan, I don't know, but I like Arda Güler for a reason. It's been a while since a Turk. I mean, Ezo is a Turk, but I mean German. But yeah, you know what I mean. It's been it's been a long time since like a Turk, through and through, burst onto the limelight. Yeah. I can think of Emre Belözoğlu at a point, Nuri Sahin at a point, maybe
Yildiray Bastek, was it Turk?
Yes, Yildiray Bastek at a point, Nihat Kaveci at a point, maybe Arda Turan at a point, but even they didn't make it to star status. You know what I mean? Superstar status. This kid is being hyped up to be star status material.
I just hope it doesn't turn out.
What is it about?
I wasn't about to say that.
What is it about Turkish players that? I mean, we all know they are talented, but some way, somehow, that the talent pool in that country seems to be drying up.
Yeah, that is true. After the brilliant golden age of, I think the last great batch they had was in the 2008 Euros, right? Yeah. Where they were doing the comebacks.
Rustu Regba and co.
Nihat Kaveci and co. Yes, they have experienced a bit of a dip in terms of the quality that's come out of that country, because not a lot of Turks, pure-blooded Turks, have made it out of Turkey to play in the big time. So it is great seeing that, Real Madrid's latest acquisition. He's young, he's talented, he's skilled. I just hope he'll be managed well at the club. But the challenge for Turkey really has been, like I said, they got to a point where the talent pool was almost drying up. But they've gone back to basics. They've looked at what has helped them. They've restarted the conveyor belt, and you notice that a lot of the youngsters are coming through. True. And when you look now, teams like Fener, Galatasaray, Besiktas, Başakşehir, and these others, they do have youngsters that are beginning to Trabzonspor. They are beginning to attract a lot of the attention. I feel that the other challenge with Turkish players, sometimes the decisions they have made when they leave Turkey, some of them do the jump. Yeah, some of them make the jump too early.
Nuri Sahin as well.
Yeah, you can argue.
How would
went to Real Madrid and his career collapsed.
I would even mention Nuri. I would mention Emery Moore. Remember Emery Moore? He was thought to be the next big thing, but it never materialized. Cengiz Under.
Yeah,
exactly.
Same thing. Cengiz Under is at Olympic Marseille.
Yes, he's at Marseille.
So I feel that a lot of them, the jump immediately from Turkey is the problem. If I were in Turkey, and you listen to Turkish journalists and they talk about some of these guys don't make the right decisions. For example, if you are leaving Turkey and you are young, it makes sense to probably go to Germany first. Build, because the German teams will give you the opportunity to grow and make your mistakes.
There are lots of examples.
There are lots of examples. And then you build on from there. But I'd love to see Real Madrid's newest acquisition. I hope they are patient with him and he's patient with himself.
I've seen such talent feel before.
They don't treat him like they've treated Kubo. Is it the Japanese boy?
Kubo.
Like they've treated
they send him out on loan, Odegaard and co. So Real Madrid, now that they've brought him in,
Odegaard literally had to salvage his own career.
So he has to think about that. But
and that midfield is tagged.
It is.
He will be very deep in that roster.
Look, I don't know what the plan is. I hope Carlo Ancelotti has a plan for him. I really hope.
Carlo after this season is leaving.
But Carlo is going to Brazil. So I hope there is a proper plan. But I will say this about Real Madrid. All have done their rebuild. I've loved Real Madrid's rebuild. It's been very quiet, but it's almost been systematic. And for the first time in years, they've been quiet.
Going in the opposite direction.
Yes, very. And I think when they had to...
He's evolving.
Yes, when they had to...
those Galactico nonsense. He has
That's what a leader does. He evolves.
He's literally setting up Real Madrid for the next 10
years.
Abraham Glazer. Come for your message. I haven't heard the word Simajole in almost 20 years. Actually.
So I mean, great work by Real Madrid. They are doing a rebuild. What I would love to see is how they now deal with Karim Benzema's departure. How
That
this
is
But
look
that one
like.
is simple. Ellen Haaland is coming.
Yeah.
But Erling Haaland is not showing up
Is it
this season.
Kylian
on
Mbappe?
this-
It looks like Mbappe. Mbappe
they-
magic
they-
will work.
it will work.
The point
It
I'm
will
making is this. All the players they are looking
Yeah.
at, there is none in the profile of Karim Benzema. That's the point I'm making.
But they don't need
Let's
another
wrap it up for me.
Benzema.
Let me get coach's thoughts on this. So let me just dovetail into Mbappe because that is looking like a very controversial situation. Now, PSG president has been speaking this week again.
Yeah.
He says that Mbappe's situation remains what it is from the beginning. You either get sold, you either sign a new contract or we are selling you this season.
You see, the boy is a very bad boy.
Very, very, very bad. Very,
He's a very, very bad boy. You see,
strategic.
What has he done?
no, he's very bad. He's extremely very, very bad. If you look at the amount of money he's sucked out of PSG, even if you want to go to Real Madrid, sign the contract and put the clause in there.
I don't even think
That
Real Madrid
if Real
can pay
Madrid,
those wages.
if Real Madrid can give you up to this month, but don't stay and say you intend to leave for free. That is wickedness. That is wickedness.
But it's also.
And the way-
I'm coming.
The way he's setting up
For
the
him
thing
to have,
is
look,
interesting.
he's already agreed with Real Madrid. Oh.
Can they pay him?
No, agreed that he'll go for free.
Oh, wow.
He's already agreed. That's why he's pushing to play the last season, so that he'll go for free.
The trick is
And then
very
everything goes into his salary.
See-
And that is an act of wickedness.
At the moment,
No, what
coach,
sort of business is that?
I think
What sort of
he's
business?
trying to play
See-
it safe by telling the PSG fans that he's committed to stay for one more season.
No, he should go and
knowing,
tell that.
knowing very well that after this season,
He should go and tell that to
Guys,
someone
see,
in class one.
The Real Madrid, no, the PSG hierarchy are also trying to fight back and let it look like it's Kylian Mbappe who has delivered.
Exactly. He's also trying to make it like
Run
it's the
down.
hierarchy.
Yes, and that's exactly
And
what
it's
it
a
is.
war that's happening. But you see, PSG are paying for a mistake they made 2-3 years ago.
Is he?
When they got him to sign this extension,
Uh-huh.
what they didn't tell anybody was that this thing that they are debating in public is wired into his contract. They agreed a 3-year extension. They told everybody they agreed a 2-year extension, right? That's what they said. Was it
No,
2
the
years?
third year was an
The-
option.
the- the-
player
that's
option.
what they agreed at. The third one was a player option. That they didn't tell anybody. That they kept under wraps, hoping that things would play out nicely.
And then he would probably extend before
Yes.
he had to go
Or
to the
they work
third
it
year.
out
Kalichi
nicely
says,
and he
see,
makes it
Ahom
happen.
Mamishka, they give your mother money, your father, your siblings, they all took some of the money.
At the moment, he's in Cameroon having a good time.
What he has, he's a fantastic player. But for him to say he at his age, just tell the people at Real Madrid, go sit down with PSG. Let Real Madrid give them somewhere around 150, 180 million.
But the point is,
and then he goes.
But coach, you see, that's what I was saying is business. Why would Real Madrid pay 150 million for him when they know they can get him for free?
You see, at the end of the day, Real Madrid will want to get him for free.
Yes.
But you and I know that PSG has got no other than to take the stand they've taken. And I think they will sell him. He cannot stay overnight and go for free.
For me, they can do. If he doesn't want to stay, there's Liverpool. Do business with Liverpool.
But Liverpool can
And
afford
then,
his wages.
listen. It's better to get something from Liverpool than to let him go for
free.
So,
Of course. They say
if he
Arsenal
sign this
to
season-
buy Mbappe.
Ojo wants to-
If
if he won't sign that extension,
Sell him now.
do business with
They
Liverpool.
are ready to sell him to any
Do
team
business-
that
do
brings
business
the
with
money.
Liverpool. Liverpool will pay some amount. Let him go to Liverpool rather. So throw his
But you
sort
know,
of
you know why?
ambition
You know why
to go to
coaches'
Spain.
early statements, makes a lot of sense and holds water. Mbappe is a bad boy.
Oh, yeah.
You know why?
He's a bad boy.
Because you can never sell a player who doesn't want to leave.
Yes,
Because
he's
you
a bad boy.
can go and agree a transfer fee.
He said, "I'm
with
not going."
Man City, Liverpool. If I say I'm not going, there's nothing.
Like what
anybody
is
can
happening with Chelsea and the Pulisic issue. Chelsea wish they could sell him to Leon. He says, "I don't want. I want AC
Why
Milan."
you mention Chelsea? Harry Maguire, man, you.
Maguire, man, you. I can't Yahweh some. No, I know who try.
Man, you.
No, but in that case, you see, again, in the Harry Maguire case, United's qualification for the Champions League
It means they will increase the
has
salary.
increased.
His bonus.
No,
It has
only for him.
activated a clause for him.
You see, it is not only for him. It's for everybody.
It's for everybody.
But the fact of the matter is,
United
do you know
want
the
to-
Maguire's problem? Maguire's problem is Southgate. Oh. Because he keeps picking him for the national team. That's why Maguire thinks he's so comfortable.
And he also believes that he's a senior player.
And
to play West
you see, under Eric Ten Hag, he will not play. He started only 8 games last season. Even that one, Varane got injured for 3 games. Martinez missed the rest of. Even that when Martinez missed the game, they were playing Lindelof and Luke Shaw. Obo mode ake ya no ba na coach aye. O fails mo no ya.
But the cash is good, so he wants to stay.
Nathan, let me talk to you about another player. So PSG have been busy while we're on the PSG subject. They unveiled 4 new signings. So 3 players and 1 manager. Luis Enrique is heading to PSG. Marco Asensio is heading to PSG. Milan Skriniar is heading to PSG. And then Manuel Ugarte. Just quick thoughts. You've been following the rebuild for a minute. So Christophe Gaultier gone. Enrique in, Asensio, Ugarte. What are they doing over there?
2 years ago or so, if you read the French press, PSG they woke up to the realization that throwing money
end of bling
at this Champions League project wasn't going to work. They realized that they needed to actually build. And the realization hit them in one of those league games where they didn't have a few of the big names available. When they looked on the bench, they had 17, 18-year-olds. They didn't know what to do with themselves. So they've decided that, we'll build again. But this time, we'll not throw money at players. We'll find players of quality. If they have to get them on a free, they will get them on a free. And those players will come in. PSG is an attractive project. They may not have won the Champions League, but they are now quite attracted to sell to a player like Asensio and say, look, you've done the 3-peat at Real Madrid. You don't have to win the Champions League again. Try a new challenge. Come here. Fresh city. It's Paris. The lights are nice. The food is great. Art, music, fashion, whatever you want.
Nice. City of love.
Whatever.
The ladies are nice.
And Paris is always an attractive. And Paris is an attractive city. So I feel that PSG do have money, right? Even though they are getting players on a free, the salaries are really attractive. So that's the direction they decided to go in. Bring in these quality players, bring in these experienced players, cut down a lot of the superstar spending, and then see if they can almost organically grow this Champions League pursuit from the ground up. So that's why they are doing these things. And they've brought Luis Enrique, who says he's not afraid of the big egos. I think a lot of the big egos are leaving the PSG dressing room. So that makes his job.
Neymar and PSG are and Mbappe might be on their way out as well.
So I think the case of Neymar, he's Luis Enrique's boy.
They work together.
The fans just don't want him.
I think if Neymar has anything left, at least at this level, Luis Enrique can coax it out of him and say, Neymar, you have 1 Champions League to your credit. I help you win that Champions. We won it together.
Let's go again.
So let's try it again. You took this team to a final. It means that you can do it. And then if you can get everybody on side, we'll see if it will work. But I like the fact that Enrique did not opt for a long-term contract. It's a very short-term contract.
2 years.
Knowing how volatile the place can get sometimes. But like I said,
how the fans will turn on you when
the fans are the PSG fans.
Let's talk
crazy.
about Jurrien Timber to Arsenal. So because that move is basically on the verge of being completed according to reports that we are getting. Fee in the region of 40 million. This was a player United and Ten Hag admired. I'm not sure where the trail went cold. He can play as a centre back. He can play as a right back as well.
I can give you one name.
Who's that?
Why that deal went down. Louis van Gaal. Louis van Gaal.
Oh, he bad-mouthed Man United.
Yeah, Louis van Gaal told Jurrien Timber, if you sign for United, I'm throwing you out of the Dutch team.
Yeah, that's why Ten Hag didn't go back for him.
That's why he didn't. And
that's why Eric Ten Hag didn't go back
to
for
anybody
him
in Holland.
Because I have worked with you at club level. I say I would hear you listen to Van Gaal.
Louis van Gaal told him point blank that if he signed for United, it wasn't going to be pleasant.
Coach, what kind of players are Arsenal getting? I mean,
I think they are getting a ball-playing defender, somebody who is very good on the ball and who has got good anticipation, somebody who can play as a
centre back. Can he break
back
into their first team?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he can.
Over White.
He can play as a centre back and as a right back. So they needed depth in that position. So when Saliba got injured, they were calling on Holding, and we all saw what happened. So I think, and he's a Dutch international. He's a starter for the Dutch national team. I think he's a good player, and I think he will add a lot more.
He will make it to the starting unit, and he'll be an upgrade offensive-wise over Ben White or Tomiyasu. Yeah. Because defensively, Ben White does his job very well. Tomiyasu does sing. But going forward, look at the number of times that Odegaard, Partey played Ben White through on goal. Just crossed the ball. And that cross was lacking. Consistently, it was lacking. And Arsenal missed out on a lot of goals because it was Ben White doing the crossing and not Bukayo Saka. Yeah. And it was the same thing with Tomiyasu before he got injured. So if you have Jurrien Timber in that position, the chances of you getting a very good cross from that end of the field they are pretty high, way higher than Ben White. And
Well,
it's
looks
a very
like all
good-
the
it's a
top
very
Dutch
good
talent are making it out. You know another Dutch talent everybody should be looking at? Probably move very soon. Lateral Gertruida plays for Feyenoord, I believe. Centre back again, right back as well. Was with Tyrone Malacia when they made it to the Europa League or Conference League final. Lateral Gertruida, very good player.
But
Very
Ben,
athletic as
I
well.
must say Arsenal is doing some good business of late.
Declan Rice.
Yeah, Rice.
almost-
look.
They say Rice is scheduled for medicals.
Exactly.
And then
So
Timber coming
Timber
in.
is coming on board. They've renewed the contract of Saliba.
Saliba.
As well. Charlie,
Claudius
Nelson and
to
all that. I think clearly there's an intention here to try and go again next season. Yes, last season the heartbreak was too much for them to bear, but I'm sure they've learnt their huge
Nelson, they
lessons.
should let him go because at
He's
this point in
renewed
time,
his
he's-
contract.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
it's
but-
renewed for another.
Yeah,
another
because
4
You see,
years.
the talent is redundant.
No,
Looking at what he brings to the team.
I think there's a plan for him. They will use him sparingly when they need that sort of super sub. I remember in a game like this, he came on to score
Yeah,
that
he
winning
got-
goal
he
for them.
was
So there's still a plan for him. I'm
it's
sure.
about
Okay, guys,
Yeah.
so breaking news coming through is that Newcastle United have entered into negotiations with Leicester City for Harvey Barnes. So negotiations have started. Newcastle make wild. They
That's a
really
good one.
make
That's
wild.
a good one. That's a good one.
So, as for Leicester, everybody leave. And big shout outs to Daniel Mate. I bumped into him randomly at my gym.
Okay.
He was with Muntari Tego. They came to do a little work. You know, he's a free agent now.
Yeah, he's free
so
agent.
I think he's working out to stay fit. I
he
think
needs
I
to
think
stay
I think
fit,
there's a move on the horizon.
Oh yeah.
So he's
one of the few
I asked
few ball
him-
playing centre backs.
I asked him, Ken, Charlie, next season, where are you going? Say, very soon you will know.
Very soon. Yeah. Oh, Charlie, my regards to him.
Yeah,
man.
big shout out to
He's
Daniel
a player
Mate.
I love so much.
Yeah.
One of the few ball playing centre backs, I should say.
Now,
Now,
Inform me.
behave yourself, Pichichi. Behave yourself.
Now,
Behave yourself.
No more World Cup and a cheche.
Wrap it up for me. Wrap it up for me.
so in all, I think that so far it's been a good transfer business for most of the teams. I look at what Liverpool has done so far.
Hey,
it's okay.
We are monitoring. We are aware of. We are preparing a bit.
See,
There's concrete interest.
for Man United, I know they'll add more players.
Hold on.
Onana.
Let me talk to coach real quick.
Shinita Messi Mount Ebashia. Wakonana
Ogbe na
Egbe.
Omo.
But you never sat here and said Mount will come home.
No, I told you here.
That
I
if
said
Ten Hag
once
wants-
Ten Hag wants him, I support.
you are happy.
Onana wakele Egbe no Omo.
How far?
Rasmus Højlund wakele Egbe no Omo.
Osimhen. And Osimhen.
Osimhen, how far?
Osimhen, I said something. I said if Sheikh takes over, he is the Marquis Sani. I said it.
Okay.
And as we speak,
Sheikh
the
has been
Simadole man is delaying the sale. Pade mi de Egbe. Tell Simadole ah, we
Avram
Egbe.
Glazer.
Look,
But talking about Rasmus Højlund, I was reading some reports
Wakele Egbe
earlier
no Omo.
that Man United look like they will be sending Mason Green.
Yes. Wakele Jama Egbe no Omo. Green will buy a loan. Greenwood is going to Atalanta 1 season loan. Then Rasmus Højlund will come.
To
Then
what?
the
To
following
kill
season-
the heat on him or
Yeah,
what?
then the following season he will come back.
Italian football, they don't give a hoot about your personal life, what you've
So
done
wait,
off
so
the
is
field.
that,
They don't care.
so wait, is the understanding that after a year
He's coming back.
people's opinions should have changed?
After
on
his
him?
year,
Not so, this is what I think United want to do. I think they just want to take him out of the firing line.
but
And
prepare
then-
him psychologically.
And
Then he
decide,
comes with
okay,
all fire.
you send him out, he goes to play on a year's
Nathan,
loan.
you know Italian football. They don't give a damn.
They don't-
about
no, he-
that.
I get
Okay.
that. I get that. But again, it will still come down to whether or not Manchester United want to
Look,
have him back.
if
and
look for
face
Ten
all
Hag,
the things that
the
come with
fact
it.
is Ten Hag wanted the boy to stay. But United now, you let him go on loan. Loan, if you go and play, come and play. Mason Greenwood left and right. Achula Omiawo.
Especially if he lights up the Serie A. There will be some positive PR behind him.
No, you were player and work academy.
Right.
From the academy,
We are monitoring.
from the academy.
We are
No,
aware
these
of-
are the players, and very soon we need a partner for Casemiro.
Don't you have Mount already?
Dabi Mount Ericsson
You can buy Kwesi
Well,
Dons.
be an no what I
Charlie,
hear.
Nathan, behave yourself.
You see, who was the best midfielder in the World Cup?
The World Cup. Interesting question.
Was it
Best
not?
midfielder.
Was it not the gentleman who's at Chelsea now?
Oh, no man.
Enzo
Oh,
Fernandez.
Dabi. Me no war. Me no Enzo.
McAllister is a Liverpool.
McAllister out a Liverpool.
The Lord is my Baba. Padi mo go trouble level.
No money.
Oh, Charlie.
Who is this?
Hey, Amrabat.
One time.
Amrabat had a
Ovele.
Amrabat had a fantastic.
Fair. That's where you are now.
Kochi has bought every player for us.
What do you mean I've bought every player?
I say one day I will do
player.
we can do. We can do a special episode mix of Wakelebe Naumo only.
Look, and then you see the number of players. Look, can't worry. As we stand,
coach, the list. The last time I checked, the list was like 83 players. United have like 5.
It's not true. It's not true.
So I say you. No, I say me. I'll have time.
You see,
I will do.
What you don't know is that
Wakelebe Naumo.
Wakelebe Naumo. Some of them don't come early, but eventually they come.
Look,
the only Wakelebe Naumo that I know I spoke about which didn't come was that boy who has gone to Man City. That one I said because of social. But as we speak, Mason Mount is home. He started training today. Andre Onana, that one is emphatic. We don't have a goalkeeper. He's our number 1 goalkeeper now. He will let the team play the Ten Hag way. You understand? Building from the back is compulsory under Eric Ten Hag. Why are people complaining? Pep came, he sacked Joe Hart. He went, he brought Bravo. He sacked him. He brought Edos. So Ten Hag too says the 12 years. Onana, Badumonjalame. After Onana, Rasmus Højlund. Greenwood is going to Atlanta. Holland is coming to Man United. I'm hearing just before I sat here
Insider.
that the Daniel Levy man, Hurricane, is going to meet him. What the thing has gotten to, Hurricane will have to tell me. Forget him.
Thank you.
Many have a Bayern Munich, Fishermen, Farmers League. Many have a.
Why?
You Thomas Tuchel, you've annoyed Levy. He went to Hurricane to speak to him without that man's permission. He said, I don't want to entertain anything Bayern Munich. Hurricane, he needs to break Alan Shearer's record. There's only one team he can play for at the moment. Man United.
Now on time, shape goes a place of ghosts. Now on one year.
I don't even know what to say at this point.
Striker week. He plays for Tottenham Hotspur.
It's okay.
He won't go to Chelsea.
The show has ended. The show has ended.
No. There's a 1 a.m. thing I need to clarify.
Thank you. Yeah. What are we talking about?
Last, please, 20 seconds. Let's close the show.
It was around 12.
What are you talking
38.
Hey! AM or PM?
Oh, Dabi.
In the AM.
In Chanumwe. Ninkenumaga. No more. No. Birthday Jishi. But consignment on it. Okay, no more. A button Fiji. Into laughing.
Ding, Fiji.
A button Fiji. I'm laughing. Again, more.
Oh, and we saw.
And what I cheer you, Dalish.
He said,
thank you for the 1 a.m. Charlie. That was a fantastic.
We'll choose not to respond.
There's no response to that.
There's no response. They have responded for you already. Madam has responded on your behalf.
Happy belated birthday to Mrs. Kwao.
Oh, Mrs. Kwao, why you need now?
Why you need now?
Why you need now? Oh, Charlie. Three rings for you. Thank you.
Mr. Kwao,
why you need now? Thank you very much. Today the shout outs have closed. Which shout outs again?
Mr. Kwao needs to write a book on this.
Thank you very much.
How to give gifts at 1 a.m.
Is it no? They call it the 1 a.m. experience. Thank you. My name is Benjamin Iketia. You heard Evans for 2 months. Coach Christopher Nimley, Yahweh J. Minta, and Nathan Kwao. Edwin Kwa Kofi on socials. Gabi Ofer Rita producing the show. Everybody else in the back.
Now on time, shape goes a place of ghosts. Now on one year, you display $1,000.
Show proudly brought to us by Shell Helix and Bell Puka. We will post the link of the show on our Twitter page, Citi Sports GH. So we'll also run again tomorrow. So catch the repeat. Until then, enjoy the rest of your evening. DJ Mingo will be coming through in a bit.
It's a place of ghosts. Now on one year, you display $1,000. For the striker, we can consider.